Hello, everyone, and welcome to Watching Twin Peaks for the First Time. I am your co-host, Wade Bradford.
And I'm your other co-host, Mackenzie.
Bradford?
Yep.
Oh,
I don't know.
you don't want to reveal my last name.
I'm not sure. Just for fun.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Twin Peaks The Return, in particular, parts 11 and 12.
Cool.
The numbers are throwing me off.
12.
But we're talking about parts 11 and 12 today. And we're getting Mackenzie's interpretation as well as a little bit of my own interpretation. But it's a lot. It's more entertaining to hear what this.
I don't know about that.
What this young person thinks. So
I think it's more fun to see if I get it right.
Well, I like seeing that, and that's what was fun about like the Mystery of Laura Palmer is guessing suspect, and now we're kind of into sort of literary analysis as far as like what does this mean, but also there's the aspect of what's going, because this is a story of adversaries. Yes. We were talking last time about whether or not that represents good versus evil. Yeah. In some ways, I think it does, and maybe there's a lot of moral ambiguity. Right. But it does definitely seem like there's definitely protagonists and antagonists. Yes. And so it's interesting to sort of predict what's going to be the outcome by the end of this show. So without further ado,
bugs me.
Without further ado, then, we were both happily surprised.
Yes.
Again, I had forgotten about this. We were both happily surprised that Miriam's
alive.
She comes crawling out of the woods. I'm
so proud of her.
I was very happy with her as well because, one, I hate that Richard kid. That kid sucks.
That guy sucks.
He might be. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
He might be the worst.
The worst character in Twin Peaks.
The worst character. At least the worst human character.
Yeah.
Even Bob is evil,
but he has kind of a plan.
Well, I don't even know if he has a plan, but he's so otherworldly that you kind of like, oh, he's off above a convenience store doing his own intergalactic thing. So that I can't. It's like
I don't even know.
It's like, you wouldn't necessarily compare, say, Norman Bates from Psycho to Cthulhu. Yeah, right? There's like two different realms.
Although I feel like they would have like a nice cup of tea.
Would they? They might get Anyway, so Richard might be at least the worst human.
Oh, he's so bad, and we haven't even seen his comeuppance.
Yeah.
So that's like the worst part. Is like we're like, what's gonna happen? He stole a bunch
and I don't remember
money.
if he get. I
hope he does. He's on a path towards...
I know that I shouldn't be making any predictions because in theory I've seen it. But again, to be honest, I don't remember what happens. But at the same time, I think if he didn't get his comeuppance, then I would be so angry that anger would have inspired me to remember what happened.
What happened to him?
And so he must get some sort of comeuppance by the end of this.
I hope he just kind of dies.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go to jail. He's one of the people where you're like, no justice system for you. There's some people in movies where you're like, no.
I sort of want to tell you what I want happens.
But you're worried that it's going to happen.
I'm worried that it's what's going to happen.
Okay, write it down, and then we'll
I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, say it anyway. It
doesn't
really matter.
It's bad.
No, I don't care.
Okay, so I'm thinking of The Princess and the Frog and the bad guy from Princess and the Frog that CJ loves this guy.
Voodoo?
Yeah, the voodoo guy. Remember the
something.
Yeah, the sort of the darkness surrounds him and grabs him and takes him away. That's what I want to have happen.
Like Bob just
to Richard. Something like that.
I think he's just going to get
how
squished.
Wyndham Earle's end was very satisfying.
Yes.
Because he's like, I want to hang out with the Dugpas and go in the Black Lodge.
And they're like,
and I'm going to be friends with them. Like, we don't like you. You can't sit. You can't sit. They totally mean girl him.
Yeah.
They're like,
you can't sit at our table.
You can't sit at our
I think he becomes. I think my hope is that our terrible friend Richard, just becomes that green squished.
To get squished.
Yeah,
just
get squished like the other Doug.
Oh, the head.
Not a fat kind of squish. like,
to be in the Black Lodge and pop your head goes and there's smoke and stuff
like that.
There's something
like satisfying.
Yeah, so I hope that something like that happens. All right, so Miriam has survived.
Congratulations.
And so she's gets put into the hospital. Benjamin Horne finds out that his grandson Richard. And so Richard is Audrey's?
No. I think it's Donna Hayward.
Okay.
I think it's
so
Donna
we were
Hayward.
Trying to guess like who's the
pretty sure it's Donna Hayward because we've seen Johnny and Johnny's not looking great, and we see Donna and she's like because that's in Audrey. 12. That's right. We see Audrey. We see Audrey in 12, and she's just standing there looking for her like lover.
Yeah.
And she's married to someone, so I would assume that if Richard was trying to get money, he would go to them.
Okay.
So it wouldn't make any sense for him to go to
the
grandmother, and to Ben. Like that doesn't make sense.
You think that he would go to that Clark guy first?
Yeah, he would go to them first, and we'd
slap
see
him around.
Yeah, and you'd like probably throw him.
Yeah, that poor Clark. Oh no, Clark is the actor's name.
Yeah.
Charlie. I was looking up the actor's name. Yeah, so Charlie is the character's name. Yes, so Benjamin Horne, not hormone. Benjamin Horne is going to pay for Miriam's whatever surgery she needs. And it seems like from this scene, we really kind of feel that Ben is a pretty good guy.
Although he doesn't talk about.
Oh, because he's talking to the police.
He talks to the police.
To Sheriff Truman.
Yeah. And he doesn't tell him about like how his ex-wife called him and was like, he stole all the money. But I assume that already.
We also talked about that might have been something that was already disclosed.
Yeah, like they already talked about it,
and that's why the sheriff's stopping by, where it's like, hey, this
is what else is happening with your grandson, kind of thing, because they don't find Miriam until way after that happens. So I assume that Ben and his ex-wife would probably call the police and be like, hey, he's on the run.
And then Ben hands the room key over to Sheriff Frank Truman.
Yes.
And says this, Harry Truman might, like this as a memento.
Yeah.
Do you think something's going to happen with that key other than what we've seen so far?
I don't know, but I think the ringing will stop.
Oh, you think the ringing will stop?
I think the ringing is somehow connected to the key. We didn't hear it after the key left the room.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because that woman and Ben are in the room and there's no ringing sound.
Good
so
point.
I just kind of think that the key was part of it.
Okay. So we'll see if the ringing has stopped.
But I think that here's a weird harebrained idea. The key comes back into the lodge, and then one of those little tube things is ringing. That's the key setting that thing off. Because it sounds like very similar.
Yeah.
So it's like something in the key, the message tube is like, ooh,
yeah, there's something about like these vibrations that are like sending messages. And it seems like there's special sort of music that plays when Dale Cooper senses like, I gotta buy a pie now.
I gotta buy a pie. I love that.
All right, so back at the diner, Shelley gets a call from her daughter. Norma is always doing paperwork, taxes, paying bills or something like that, or doing payroll. She's like never we don't see her helping people.
No. Well, actually, she is behind the counter when they go back in with Bobby.
That's true.
So maybe she, like in her off time, she like sits at a table and does other people's taxes.
I don't think she's doing that. I think it's all related to the diner. That's my impression.
How much paperwork do you have about a diner?
Well, you would have, again, you've got to like pay the restaurant, employees.
Like
you got to play. Well, that's the thing. It's funny that it's happening every scene, and it's also
like tired.
It's also not happening like it makes sense. It's like, hey, it's 10:30 at night. Things have slowed down. I'm gonna set this stuff out here. She's even got an old phone out there.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny. I think what it's supposed to mean is like she's moved on to sort of the management.
She's a management, but she always.
I know she always was, but now it's like Shelley is meant to be the sort of the figurehead. Wow, we are really talking about the intricacies of the R&R.
I like it.
So Becky. We've talked about 2 points so far. We're 11 minutes in. So Becky and Stephen have been fighting.
Yeah.
Shelley There's a recurring theme through all of Twin Peaks of parents letting their children just run amok.
I don't do that though.
Shame on the parents, right? I know you're a good kid. You're a good kid. So the parents they just give in to these kids, and that's what Shelley does for her daughter Becky, who's making obviously bad choices, terrible choices. Yeah,
really bad choices.
Gets her gun out.
She just runs.
Drives with her mom on the hood of the car.
Oh my god, it was so stressful. I really thought that they were both gonna die. Well, and the dismount was actually really impressive.
Yes. Good stunt work, and good for Shelley for surviving that.
I've actually really enjoyed all of the stunt work.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those stunt doubles.
Yes.
They're doing good.
So then Becky goes over and shoots holes through the door of an apartment. At first I thought it was a hotel, but it's an apartment.
It's an apartment.
Room 208, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then we find out Steve is lurking in a stairwell with another woman.
And it's the woman's apartment that she shot into. She's like, bang, bang, bang. And they're like, you're going to have to pay her back.
She's very lucky. She's very lucky
they weren't in there.
Yes, that nobody was killed.
It wasn't the wrong door.
Yeah.
Seems like she's been there before.
Maybe.
Why do that? Why?
Because she seems to get there very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, we find out Bobby and Shelley are divorced.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So we also see there's a guy that's shown up, and I don't think we've learned his name yet.
He's the dime man.
He's the dime. Yeah, we're kind of like he like flips the dime.
It is interesting. He shows up in episode 10.
Oh, because 10 cents?
Yeah. 10 cents.
Tips, we're talking about episode 11.
Never mind.
But I'll give you a penny for your thought, and then that's 11.
That's 11. Absolutely not.
Anyway,
never mind.
Yeah. So this guy we saw him at the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But that's when we were like paying attention to the guy behind him. It was like,
it's Jacques.
It's Jacques is there.
Was Jacques'
but
brother.
He's like so this guy is like kind of like, hey, and is like, am I supposed to know this guy? I don't know, like, hey.
No, he's like,
so he's looking at Shelley. Shelley's smiling back.
Yeah.
Then we see him working with
Richard,
the kid, the jerk, Richard, and doing the dime flip thing.
Yeah, heads I win, tails you win.
And then we see him showing up at the diner. While the family, right, Becky and Bobby and Shelley, are trying to work this out. I know it's sad that they're not, especially Bob.
I know Bobby seems so nice,
so put together, and
she's like, absolutely not, no need for order in my life, says Shelley.
Yes. So I also like how Becky is going like, no, Mom, I'm not going to borrow money from you. You've given me too much.
Money. And then she looks directly at her father.
And then Bobby's like, I guess I'll lend you the money. But you got to pay it back.
You got to pay it back. Although I do believe he's going to make her pay it back.
Yeah, but I also think whatever money she gets from him is just going to go directly to the deadbeat Stephen.
Yeah, so there's not really any point.
Yeah. So anyway, what's fascinating is that this guy shows up, smiles through the window. Shelley brightens up, runs out to go give him a smooch. Says, I'll meet you later.
It's all silly, too, because she's like having this like heart-to-heart with her daughter.
Her daughter could have killed her and could have killed other people. It's not some little temper tantrum. This was dangerous,
this was very scary.
Criminal behavior.
Also, her daughter's like, I need money. And then after her dad gives her money, she like smiles and she's like, oh, Mom, are you okay?
Yes.
She like waits for after she got the money.
Ugh.
I hate her. I don't like her.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't.
And she doesn't do that. It's after that, and Norma's kind of giving her a look like, are you forgetting something?
Are you forgetting?
It's like,
something?
oh yeah, I was a horrible person. I forgot.
And then she's like, I'll be a horrible person too. And the interesting thing about these two episodes,
because she's like,
no need to talk to my daughter anymore.
My daughter is dating a scumbag, so I'm dating a higher level scumbag.
Yeah.
So that makes it okay.
It makes it okay. And also, like, it's interesting. The idea is brought up a lot that it's like father, like son, because there's the shooting later on.
Yes.
With the little kid, he just shoots through the window, and then he stands there like his dad.
Yeah. So this little boy outside of his like SUV or whatever that accidentally shot the gun. that seems like it was like the bad for the father having the gun there, but also didn't the mom? I think the mom said I put it back. I thought it was a toy gun or something like that. When it's like
full on revolver.
So we have this like father like son. There's also this moment I want to get your take on it, and I woke up with this interpretation this morning. I was quite happy with this.
I forgot to tell you, I had dreams of numbers last night.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't realize like what kind of numbers they were.
Coordinates?
No, they're like scratcher ticket numbers. Like they were floating around, and I was just like touching them. So I feel like I need to get a scratcher.
We're gonna get a lottery ticket after this. Let's for our next video. We'll start with scratcher.
Yeah, just one scratcher.
Yeah, one scratcher each.
Okay, yeah. I like that. We'll have to buy it today though, because because I had the dream last night.
Yeah, we'll get it today. Okay, so when Bobby is out being a deputy and dealing with the gunshot that it's accidentally gone off.
Oh my God, that child!
Yeah.
I forgot about the throwing up one.
So a lady's honking her horn and then yelling, and then the child that's in the seat next to her
rises.
Yeah, just rises out of the shadows and starts to throw up, and the lady's screaming. So what did you think of that?
Okay, so to me, I don't know. I interpreted that whole chain of events as like mother, like daughter, like father, like son.
Okay.
Because we see Shelley and we see her daughter, mother, daughter, very similar, basically making the same mistakes. And Bobby is like, why can't I change my own daughter?
Yeah.
Even though his father was probably like that to him, even though he turned out okay, kind of thing.
Well, the interesting thing is that there's this weird thing that happens with these characters, and also I think in real life, is that you go through this phase of rebellion. So when we see Bobby in the original Twin Peaks, he is very, very different
He's
from
crazy.
Major Briggs.
Yeah.
But now we see him. Now he didn't go into the Air Force or anything like that. But he is he puts himself in harm's way. He's helping others, right?
Just, like basically working as a detective.
It's more a militant lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think more honorable than the path that he was on.
Yeah.
So it's a good question. It's like, and yet at the same time, when we're young, we often pattern ourselves after our parents. So the little boy in the camo outfit that's staying like his dad, that seems like he's in the role model phase. He's probably going to go through a rebellion phase, but then odds are he's going to be like his father. So Becky,
and then we see
Becky's making choices that Shelley has made.
Yeah,
and Shelley still makes.
That way.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting to point out that lady who's like honking.
Yeah.
She's like way overreacting.
Yeah.
And then the child is also like kind of overreacting. I don't know. The child's a lot to deal with. And so the mother is also just continually freaking out. She's never like, oh no, you threw up. She's never like talking to the kid. She's just like, just freaking out. And so it just feels like a bad little like relationship view. And I think it's an interesting parallel between Laura and Leland. Because Leland and Laura do not end up the same. Even though they are in very similar like situations. Sure. Leland leans into the dark side of Bob, and Laura is able to pry herself away from that, even in a sad way. But if we're thinking about it as she goes on and becomes like this angel figure afterwards, then she's able to pry herself away from the structure that's been set for her. The
screaming, honking woman in the car reminds you of.
No, I think it's just a weird coincidence that there's like a mother-daughter, father-son, mother-daughter thing
so
going on.
That makes you think of how
Laura
is able to break away.
Yeah. And even Bobby isn't able to break away. Right?
Yeah.
Like he rebels, but then he ultimately goes towards a path similar to his father's.
Yeah. It's also interesting that, when we last saw Audrey Horne, she was
businesswoman.
She was changing herself. She was chaining herself onto the bank to kind of do activist things on behalf of her father.
Yeah.
And now when we see her in these episodes, it doesn't seem like she has that same goal in mind.
I don't know. Like if my dad was like, "You should go chain yourself to the bank," and then the bank blew up, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Like if you told me, Like, you should chain yourself to the bank, which is not a good idea to begin with.
So going back to the days of Audrey Horne saying, I'm Audrey Horne and I get what I want. So is that kind of what her personality has become? Except she's not getting what she wants in that scene. Yeah. That scene is very stagnant.
No, they don't even move.
Yeah, he's always at the desk and she's always just standing there. And I don't even know if we see them in the scene together. Yeah. We probably do over the shoulder or something like that.
I don't know.
But it could have been filmed separately, right? So there's something very stagnant about it.
I think it is interesting. We don't know what... So Ben is an interesting character because he's like very close with Leland. And he's like being corrupted by Bob, in a sense, is what I feel like. The proximity is corrupting him in a way. Because I assume they were childhood friends. They seem like it.
Or at least college chums or something like that,
They both grew up in Twin Peaks, so I like kind of feel like they probably, and so I feel like he's being like very like pushed in like a bad direction. And then Laura comes into his life and she's able to like gently push him into like a better direction and the light, and like when she dies, it pushes him basically all the way in.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot to be said with the return with our friend Dale Cooper in his Dougie personality, his Dougie mode.
Yeah.
That he is this kind of this force of goodness, or at the very least opportunities for goodness.
Yeah.
Right. And so he keeps sort of nudging people in good directions.
Yeah.
The jackpot lady. Yeah.
The jackpot lady.
The jackpot lady. We didn't need to see her again, right? She could have just been like, oh, thank you, Mr. Jackpot, right? But she started off as very cantankerous. Then she's happy that she's won. And if we hadn't seen her again, we probably would have assumed it's like, oh, she's just spending the money somewhere, right?
She's just back at the
she's
machine.
Just back in sluts. But we see her again, and she looks very different. Her attitude is very different.
She's got a cane.
And she's got a cane. Yeah. So she's willing to accept help.
Yeah.
And she has reconnected with her son, whose name is
Denver.
This is my son. Yeah. Now, I'm going to use that to segue to the sad theme that I keep coming back to about cancer, about this show is a meditation on cancer. That I looked up that actress because I wanted to see if she was from Hollywood's glory days. Yeah. And she was an actress that worked a lot, but kind of starting in her older years in the late 1980s, playing lots of character roles in different, mostly TV. And I guess she was in Dude, Where's My Car? Her name is Linda Porter, and she passed away in 2019. Okay. And she was 86 years old. Yeah. Passed away from cancer.
Wow.
Now,
does she have cancer at the time of filming?
I don't know.
But it is interesting.
And again, when I talk about old people dying, there's a good chance that they're going to die of cancer, right? But it keeps reminding me of the people that we lose to this illness. Yeah. And I can't help but think that in part that this show is a meditation on that loss, and how we might not. I know a lot of people are fighting to find the cure. Yeah. But it's also something that maybe we've sort of accepted as, that's just one of the ways we die. Happens. And maybe we shouldn't accept, maybe we should be fighting that, because it is weird that we've got these doppelgangers in our body. Right. Yeah. Now, that goes back to what I was going to tell you about the interpretation of the woman who's honking. So here's how I interpret her.
Yes.
So the lady honking on the horn represents me. And I think millions of other viewers, not you, you're very patient, but myself and my wife, Sherry, and millions of other viewers, first-time viewers of The Return, that you just want Dale Cooper to come back. Yeah. You want to find out all the answers. You want, But for those of us who want, it's like, I want Dale Cooper to come back. I want to find out all the answers. I want to, go get the bad guys, right? Go solve the mystery of the Black Lodge. I want those things to happen, and I want them to happen now. Yeah. So all of us that feel that way when we're watching it for the first time, we are the screaming lady who's like, because Bobby's having this moment of like, oh, I'm making this connection and this connection, in the same way that David Lynch is slowly, very intentionally slowly letting us experience this. And if we watch it the wrong way, then we're like,
you're just ready to get it done.
And next to us in the car are all the illnesses and the hardship
meaning?
It's sort of the underbelly of this show and any sort of like hardships that are on the show, but cancer and evil and sort of any sort of adversity. And that's the part that we're if we're just interested in the fun of Twin Peaks, then we're forgetting about the sick vomiting girl in the passenger seat. Yeah.
You're forgetting about like, oh yeah, remember that like this happens. It might not happen with Bob, but it happens. Yeah. Just like in Fire Walk with Me, where it's like, remember that this happens. Yeah. This is real, and it happens.
Yeah, so that's why it's interesting to me. And again, I have no idea if David Lynch is going like, I'm going to do...
That's what I want.
Subtext is going to be about cancer. It more likely he wants to create something where you get to put in your own sort of subtext. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. My tirade is over.
Can we talk about the two brothers?
Yeah, I love them. Brothers. Tell us how you feel about the Mitchum Brothers.
I'm so happy I was right. Last episode, we were like, you're like, do you think do you think you're worried about them? I was like, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to kill anyone. And then turns out they didn't cause the fire. Complete accident. Yep. And they're just two brothers having a good time.
I don't think they're gangsters.
I don't think they're gangsters. I think they have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
And they're like two guys that are just trying to make it on their own.
If they were this close to killing them, but at the same time, they were kind of looking for a reason to not kill them.
Yeah, they were like, I don't think, if there's this one thing in the box, we can't do it. Are you on board? Yeah. It's one thing. What is it? A cherry pie. Yeah. What is it? It's a cherry pie. Yeah. Okay, Frisker is like, oh my God. The $30 million. I love that. They were so good. Yeah. And you find out they're orphans. So they might not even be biologically brothers. About the orphanage. Maybe, They might just be like friends.
So they're really, they become adorable characters.
Yeah, they become adorable so quickly. Yeah. Like, they're sitting at the table eating breakfast
at 2:30
and we all went, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. They were still like, their plan was still to kill Dale. Yeah. And then like you see him talk about the dream and you're like already a little on board. Yeah. You're like, he's like, I hate that guy so much. He gets in the car and he's like, I don't know if we should kill him.
Yeah. It's like it's like he keeps remembering more of his dream.
Yeah. And he's like, your scratch was gone. He takes off the bandage.
So the dream is that the Mike the one-armed man? Oh, it's Laura's kind of at work.
I like thinking that all the good things are kind of Laura. All the good pushes are like this good intention. Yeah. With a good follow through, because Laura can see from the Black Lodge into the future.
And we did talk about the hierarchy of the bad guys. Yeah. Last time, and so we could probably, maybe not today,
make a hierarchy,
but a hierarchy of the good guys.
I think Laura's definitely
maybe when we watch more of it, we can kind of figure out like what the hierarchy is. And speaking of sort of bad guys and stuff like that, we have the map. Hawk brings in his map.
I love his map.
He talks about black fire. Talks about the black corn, and he says that black fire or the fire could mean any sort of like modern energy, so it could mean electricity, and we keep getting electricity in there.
I keep thinking that like Gordon's electrical like hearing aid's going to be messed
up. Come into play. It's going to be messed up.
Yeah, or something.
Will it prove to be an advantage or a disadvantage?
An advantage. I think Laura might be able to talk to him. I think that's why he opened the door and saw Laura.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's something to do with like the electricity.
Gotcha. So because he's connected electrically, Laura there's some kind of message that's going to him.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. That's a good point about the because he is always connected to that electrical thing. And other than sort of a running gag, it hasn't been utilized all that much.
Yeah. I mean, he heard like the ground.
Yeah, he heard the ground shift and stuff like that. But usually, again, it's coming back to like, it's hurting my ears. So he's talking loud, sensitive to things. Yeah. So it would be interesting to see if there's a plot point related to the lodges. Yeah. That does it. And speaking of lodges,
did you see the guy get crunched today?
Yes.
That one.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So they go to the lot with poor Principal Hastings. I
really feel bad for that man.
I know, he spent a lot of time crying about how beautiful and terrible things were.
Yeah.
And then he goes there and he gets his head crunched.
Yeah. Not even in a beautiful.
Now, does Diane see that guy approaching and then just like, you know what? I'm not going to get involved.
I think so. But I also feel like when you see those people, you really don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like Harold was talking about that. He was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I can't tell you. There was so many.
They mentioned seeing them. And Albert's just like saying, Albert says like a homeless person. But when we see it as a TV viewer, we're seeing it fade in and fade out. So I'm not sure what they're seeing.
Yeah, I feel like they're seeing it.
Because if I saw a person fade in and fade out, I'd go, I'm either hallucinating or there's a ghost there.
If I saw a homeless person, I'd be like, in the lot we were going into, I'd be like, maybe we should call some backup. Or something. Like
they're FBI.
I know,
special
but
agents.
They're like, homeless person. Good. I took note of that and told no one around me.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Here's the thing. They also say, Gordon says something like, "This is one of them." Or like, "Is this one of them?"
This is one of them.
So I didn't know if they already knew a little bit about the woodsmen or just strange, extraordinary creatures. Or if this is one of them, like as in this is one of the location, like a coordinate location.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if they were going to acknowledge
when they were debriefing afterwards, and Gordon says that he saw the 3 men in the room.
Yeah.
Then I got the impression that it's like, okay, they haven't seen those guys before.
Yeah. I actually kind of feel like it might not be completely based on location. Well, like it's based on location, but I think Gordon's able to see it way quicker because of his hearing aid.
Oh, maybe.
Because, like, our boy Albert's, like, looking at Gordon, he's just, like, blurry.
From Albert's point of view, it's just Gordon is getting all blurry.
And Gordon, from his point of view, is like this beautiful tornado.
Yeah.
Of the sky.
Yeah. That's interesting. I like that idea.
Like, it's something to do with
him being hooked up. Yeah. Almost like a cyborg, right?
Yeah.
Having some closer connection to electricity might let Gordon in there a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if Dale Cooper brings in his tape recorder into the Black Lodge or if it's left behind.
I don't know.
Because that's another electric thing. We haven't seen the tape recorder in The Return.
Yeah.
To my knowledge.
No. Unless it was that little box.
Yeah. There's one last
we have. You know who has it?
Who?
Other Dale. Bad Dale. Remember,
because
he has it. He's made recordings and he shows it to the girl he's about to kill. Because he records her conversation.
Oh.
Remember?
With Daria?
Yeah, she's like on the phone. She's like, he's coming back in.
Oh, that's right. It's like a newer kind of
like
thing.
A newer one. But I assume that he took Dale's.
So he probably had Dale's.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dale's is probably at the
lodge,
the
but
hotel.
It's like at the hotel. That makes sense.
But yeah, it is kind of cool that the doppelganger is still using those kind of devices. One more thing to talk about the episode. There's a really nice moment around the time that the old lady says hello to Mr. Jackpot to Dale Cooper, where the music starts to play. What did you think of that moment?
I loved that. I kind of felt like Dale. I know I keep saying like Dale's waking up, and it might not ever happen.
I thought it was going to happen with coffee, and then I thought it was going to happen with pie. And then I thought it was going to happen with the music. And it still doesn't happen. Or I thought it was going to happen when he took action and brought down Ike the Spike.
I feel like Dale is just reloading. Like, it's taken him a little while. Like, he's, like, on his way back.
Dale's on dial-up in a world of 5G.
An electrical analogy for Dale.
Dale is like, burn, burn.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel like Dale is, waking up a little bit more because he was able to get the pie.
Yeah.
He's able to eat the pie. That's impressive. He's learning a little more. And he looked somewhere like of his own accord. He was like, ooh, piano.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, it seemed like with the Mitchum Brothers, he started to interact a little. He was still repeating what they said.
Right. He was like, friend.
But when he said friend,
yeah,
and he still didn't get the toast champagne.
He's trying to take theirs.
Like I do wonder if Kyle MacLachlan loved playing the Dougie version of Dale.
I love Dougie version of Dale.
Because you don't have to memorize very many lines.
You just repeat whatever the person just said.
I think he's having a blast doing it.
You know what I would like to do eventually? Is go back and write down everything Dougie says in order and see if it means something.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I have my working theory on this is more like behind the scenes, but I think one of the reasons why the show has Dale Cooper trapped in this state, and that so much of it is about this very, very slow awakening, is that Dale Cooper is so on the ball.
Yeah, that we wouldn't even have a story. We'd have 2 episodes.
Yeah, that if he came back from the Black Lodge, then it would be much more of a cat and mouse kind of game of him really like tracking down like, okay, my doppelganger's out there. I got to reconnect with Gordon. Gordon, here's where I was for 25 years. Yeah. Here's what I saw with
Here's
Laura
the other guy.
He
has the opposite of my fingerprints.
Yeah. I mean, unless he'd come back and it's like, I don't remember anything.
Or he doesn't know how to use a phone.
Yeah, you'd also have things like that. Wow, it's unusual here. There's the internet.
Look at this. Yeah,
stuff like that.
I wouldn't like that Dale. I like Dale loading.
It's a pretty good choice to make, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's also better than putting him into the other Dale's body, because that's just really frustrating.
Yeah, again, he would just turn himself in.
There would be no story.
It wasn't my brain, but it was my body, so I'm going to turn myself in.
And I mean, like,
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we have Agent Tammy Preston is brought into the fold, so she's formally invited to join the Blue Rose Task Force, which had included Chet Desmond, Philip Jeffries, Dale Cooper, all of which disappeared.
Yeah, and Albert.
And then Albert.
Albert was also.
Yeah, and that's why Gordon Cole wants to like stay around, make sure he doesn't go away. And I love, the more I see Albert, the more I love him. He's so patient in these episodes with Gordon Cole.
He just watches Gordon.
When they invite Diane to help out, even though they're keeping a close eye on her, they know about the text messages.
Yeah.
And
they find out about Vegas.
She says, "Let's rock."
Yeah, which is what the arm says.
Yeah.
Let's rock.
So
it's interesting. I wonder if she's been to the lodge. I wonder if she's a doppelganger. Somebody take her fingerprints.
Oh, they should take her fingerprints, see if they're backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't think they've put that together yet, but
we see Sarah.
Yeah.
Again,
oh my God, Sarah.
Buying lots of alcohol.
She makes me so sad.
Right, so she's buying lots of alcohol
and cigarettes. Yeah,
and
tomato juice.
That's right.
So that's pretty
good. Make a Bloody Mary, I'm guessing.
Some kind.
I think that's what alcohol. Right? If you have tomato juice, isn't it Bloody Mary?
Yeah, no, tomato juice, but the alcohol was like, I can't tell what alcohol it was.
Hey, for those of you members who like to drink,
make a cocktail.
Make a cocktail.
And we drink it.
Oh, I don't want to drink tomato juice.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That'd be gross. Although I'd love.
I was going to say, tell us your cocktail ideas for like.
That'd be fun.
I guess any Twin Peaks related cocktail. Yeah,
and we could have a cocktail option.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having some type of beverage, but I don't want to have a tomato based beverage.
Have like just a Dougie, and it's just a cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, you got to give it a cool Twin Peaks name too.
Yeah, you do.
Anyway, so she sees the beef jerky. And she kind of starts to freak out.
She's like, this like turkey.
So what did you think of her reaction there?
I think it's interesting that we've always seen like owls and ducks around.
Yeah.
And they are, foul. Foul play. Whoa. Isn't every type of bird a fowl? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Foul play. Mm-hmm. So turkey is a bird. It's not beef. So that's interesting to note. And she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the change. That's all.
Here's what I glimpsed watching it the second time.
Yeah.
Because the first time I thought that it was just a random thing like that. The jerky wasn't there before. Where'd that come there before? But I noticed on the beef jerky packages that there was this logo. I think of like a steer horn.
Yeah.
You have steer horn.
Yeah.
But it looked sort of Native American enough.
Yeah.
That I was wondering if she was triggered by the imagery there.
I mean, it's also red packaging.
Yeah.
So all the symbols on it are red. And it does seem like something to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see. She asks, were you there when they first came?
Mm-hmm.
The room seems different. Men are coming. Then she says, Sarah, stop doing this to me.
Yeah. So I feel like Sarah is probably nudging her in directions. Like with my theory of like
Laura is nudging her?
That's right. Laura's nudging her.
And
then Sarah's like, absolutely not.
So
that's Laura talking through her, being like.
So do you think some of those might be messages from Laura?
Yeah.
So Laura might be saying, Sarah, stop doing this to me?
Yeah.
All right. What about men are coming?
I think that's also Laura. And I think the room seems different is also. Actually, I think the room seemed different is from Sarah. Because Sarah, I feel like, could probably see the room Laura's in. And Dale's not in there anymore. And so if she like just looks in there and she's like, Dale's not in there, the room seems different, but she can't like quite
so
place
when she's looking at the grocery store, she's actually seeing a glimpse of the waiting room.
So she can't like see it.
The waiting room seems different. Which is interesting in that interpretation. Then Sarah has been aware that Dale Cooper has been in the waiting room for 25 years.
Or like kind of aware.
But like in the same way that she got a glimpse of Bob at the end of the bed or the couch or whatever.
Because she's a strong receiver.
All right. And then when Hawk visits her, we hear the like glass jangling.
It sounds like somebody's in her house.
Do you think somebody's in her house?
No.
Think it's ghosts?
Yeah, I think it's Laura. I think Laura hangs out there.
Okay, so
I think
Laura is a presence around her mother.
Yeah,
is your interpretation.
Kind of a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Benjamin Horne talks. Benjamin Horne talks about his bike. He's feeling nostalgic for his bicycle.
I think it's interesting. You were bringing up how green and golden is kind of like Laura's colors. And it's interesting that it's forest green and lime green is his bike.
Yes.
And his light on his desk, which is yellow light bulb, but it's a green cover for the light. So I felt like Laura had something to do with picking
Look,
that
we've
out.
got green walls back here. Trying to be on Laura's side.
Laura.
Well, also I don't know if that image of Major Briggs sitting on that stone area. It seems like that was the White Lodge. Right?
Yeah, and so
he's surrounded by he's surrounded by vegetation.
Yeah.
So it's very life-giving.
Yeah.
Let's see. The warden gets killed. By those.
They shoot him in front of his son.
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
It was disturbing.
That's all.
That's it. But perhaps what's more disturbing is that the married couple, Chantal and
they're thinking about kidnapping.
Well, they're talking about like, you sure you don't want to torture him? She's like, I'm hungry.
I saw Wendy's.
I said I was hungry.
Yeah.
I know, not a great advertisement for Wendy's.
No.
Wendy's. When you're too hungry to torture people, come to Wendy's.
So you should always come to Wendy's. Oh, I remember what I said when he got shot in front of his son. I went, oh man, this kid's having a rough week. His dog's missing because I just assumed. So I said his
thinks
dog's
that the one dog leg belongs to the warden.
To the warden. And so,
the dog's assuming. Mr. Strawberry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the dog's
I like
Mr.
that.
Strawberry.
I'd call a dog Strawberry.
Mr. Strawberry.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come here, Mr. Strawberry.
It's too cute a name.
Yeah, to have a real person.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
this guy should be Mr. Strawberry. See, right? This is
that's a Mr. Strawberry.
That's a Mr. Strawberry. Here's a Mr. Strawberry.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
These
Hawkeye.
These are Mr. Strawberry kind of guys.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Do I have anything else? I don't have anything else.
All right.
Yeah.
We're not examples.
Like people that doesn't fit as a name. Now I'm gonna feel so bad when there's like a person called Mr. Strawberry.
I'm Mr. Strawberry.
Oh God. I really wanted it to be a dog.
I suppose maybe it's like, if you had a big sort of bouncer, like my name's Cuddles, right? If there's
Twinkle Toes.
Yeah. So there's
There's a way you could make it work, but it's gonna be funny either way.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So we'll see if we find out who Mr. Strawberry is. Let's see. So back to Audrey. So she is blatantly telling her husband that she wants
Billy.
She wants her husband Charlie.
Yeah.
To help her go find Billy, maybe at the roadhouse.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why she doesn't
Billy is her
alone.
Lover, and Charlie's her husband.
Charlie also has a lover.
Charlie has a lover?
Yeah. Like Linda?
Well, he's talking on the phone to Tina.
Yeah, and she's like, I know you've been with Tina. And I've been with Billy, and it's like really confusing.
Oh, gotcha.
So I assume
I thought it was like you heard from Tina or something like that.
Oh.
But there's kind of that funny conversation for a long time on the phone. And you're old. Look, you're doing it like this.
Old. Well, that's the sign. It's the ASL sign for phone. Because otherwise, I don't know who holds their
I guess little children do. When you say,
when you're small.
When you ask,
because
when you ask a child, pretend you're holding the phone.
Yeah, I guess if you were a child,
this is what I do. Hello. Hello,
is there anybody out there?
Then lastly, we have another conversation with random people at the Roadhouse.
Yeah,
between
fantastic.
Angela and
Tammy,
I don't know what their names are. There's a lot of name dropping in this episode 12. Like intentionally name dropping so it's like you don't know what you're supposed to pay attention to.
Yeah. And you know what? That's always been
But we've had two we've had
Is that the same
we've had two sort of almost cameo conversations with people at the Roadhouse at the end of the episode. There's the
Holdy guy.
Oh, there's a Holdy guy, but at least Richard came into play later, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That jerk came into play later. True. So far, the armpit woman, we haven't seen her again yet. And then these two women that are going
to talk to Daryl. I don't know what his name is. He comes and sits down with them.
Yeah, the guy that comes and sits down.
I can't tell you what happened.
Yeah, so it seems like a very mundane conversation.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about it?
Aren't they talking about I
think they're talking about some girl that likes a guy,
with another
but
guy,
that guy is already seeing other people.
One of their friends. And
I don't think any of the names match up with the names that Charlie is talking about on the phone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of social drama going on at the Roadhouse.
We don't get to see it.
And I don't really want to see it.
I feel like it's pretty much David Lynch and is it Mark Frost?
Yeah.
I feel like they're just being remember how we used to be a soap opera? Here it is, without context.
So it's kind of it's the version of Invitation to Love.
Yeah.
Instead of getting Invitation to Love,
we get conversations.
We get conversations at the Roadhouse.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about Nadine because we forgot to talk about Nadine last time. Because she has her own little business.
Yes.
I'm so proud of Nadine.
The silent drapes.
Silent drapes, and it's fantastic.
And
I wish she would have had red drapes.
She's also got the golden shovel on display.
Dig your way out of the mud.
Do you think that they are going?
Would buy it.
Do you think Nadine and Dr. Jacoby are going to hook up by the end of the? No, they're just going to like each other from afar.
Yeah,
she really likes watching his program.
Yeah, she really does.
She's got her little smoothie or whatever.
Fair enough.
I know it's basically.
I
think if you're watching this right now, you can't complain about Nadine watching Dr. Jacoby go on his rants. Yeah. But Dr. Jacoby's rants drive me crazy a little bit.
I would watch them.
Here's why they drive me crazy. It's one thing to say, the government and all these bad things and all these bad things you got to dig out of it. It's like, hey, buy my shovel for $29.99. So it seems like he's complaining about many things that he's complaining about. He seems like he's complaining about society, consumerism, I'm guessing, but he's selling us something.
But is it a placebo effect?
Yeah.
Is he using it as a placebo? Is he using the shovel as a placebo to help people fix themselves? Is he just continuing to be a doctor?
It seems like maybe he's for the first time being a decent doctor.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Nadine has made progress.
She's made progress.
Although we haven't seen Ed.
And we haven't seen
Ed. Do you think Ed is alive?
Is Ed dead? Was Ed buried by the shovel? Interesting question. I hope so.
Is that what she's going to do with the shovel?
I'd love that.
Well, maybe.
It would finally come true.
What if... Okay, so you've talked... So in our discussion today...
Yeah.
You've talked about the re-emergence of Laura Palmer's soul in connection with her mother and sort of inhabiting, influencing things like that, kind of as a ghost,
Yeah.
Well, not possessing her mom. Maybe. Well, I mean.
No. I mean, I said Bob.
Bob.
As in the same thing's happening with Bob. Except it's there.
That's interesting because remember, if you said Laura's talking through her mom.
Yeah.
When Sarah says, Sarah, stop doing this to me.
Yeah.
Right? So if that's Laura speaking inside her, then it kind of is a Bob-like presence.
I think if it's Sarah, stop doing this to me, I think it's actually like Sarah's bringing her down, like into her. Sarah's bringing Laura down.
Sarah, like Laura doesn't want to
actually
possess
no, because that will let Bob do more things.
So Sarah is like trying to grab and hold on to Laura. That's what you think's going on there. Okay.
Yeah, and she's like physically.
So anyway, so if Laura is sort of this ghostly presence, and Nadine becomes a Ghostbuster and destroys Laura's ghost, then your original prediction
would turn out
that
correct.
Nadine killed Laura Palmer. So, do you think that is going to happen? Do you want to double down on your prediction?
I don't think. Nadine
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now, you might be saying like,
that's a big jump to make.
Well, it's obviously a big jump to make, but you also might say that, well, since I'm the one that's guiding you through these episodes that I only remember scantily, but then you're probably thinking like, well, my dad wouldn't say this is a possibility to bet on if it happened, because that would be a huge twist. But here's the thing. I want to tell you this. I've hinted about this before, and David Lynch has hinted about this, but it's really looking like there's going to be a spinoff of Twin Peaks, that other show that's going to be on Netflix that has been called Unrecorded Night, and it's also been called Wisteria. That there are many people connected to Twin Peaks. I don't know, but
I can't make this bad.
Kyle MacLachlan has Kyle MacLachlan has sent out a tweet and Instagram photo of a wisteria plant and said #wisteria.
Yeah.
The girl who giggles, Heidi or whatever, the German girl, she has done the same thing. And yesterday, Michael Horse, who plays Hawk, sent out like a wisteria, like #wisteria. So now this could just be Twin Peaks actors that are supporting David Lynch.
But that's an interesting thing to just say one.
Yeah.
I like
well,
if Nadine is in it, if the person who plays Nadine is in it, and she tweets it out, I'm betting right there, bang, $5. She's a Ghostbuster. I don't think she kills Laura.
Okay. But she battles spirits.
She battles spirits.
All right. So you heard it here, folks.
If it's
first,
$5.
$5. So we need to have a Twin Peaks spinoff.
Yeah.
With at least some Twin Peaks character, including Nadine. She's going to battle ghosts.
Yeah.
That's our prediction.
So this is only if she ends up tweeting out.
Oh, okay, you're not betting it now.
I'm not betting it now.
The actress
needs to happen,
tweet.
and then that.
Okay, then the $5 put down. All right, well, exciting stuff is going on, people.
Yes,
thank you for watching, and we're going to get back to watching more Twin Peaks.
We gotta finish.
Yes, so goodbye, everybody. This has been watching Twin Peaks for the.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on, we didn't talk about Jerry, who's lost.
But he was found. He was running across the field.
He was not found. He's still who found him, Dad?
But no, I think he's found himself. He was running across the field. Okay. He's not in the woods anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Jerry's gonna be okay, I hope.